Whew. Hello adventurers, and welcome back to my channel. I have been hard at work in the Texas heat getting ready to hit the road again, and after having discovered that my bed would work out, I had to figure out a few things. So today I'm going to kind of move through my process of figuring out exactly how my bed is going to look in my new van setup. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with my channel, I had a fully set up van. I had an accident and had to take everything out, and now I cannot use my back doors, which limits me on being able to use my kitchen, which came out the back. So I'm having to think kind of outside the box and start from scratch. So I opted for a no-build van build, and in doing so, these are some of the projects that I'm kind of going along with to figure out how to make it feel homey, even though it's a no-build. So we're going to start off today with an idea I had. On this side, I have my tri-fold mattress, which is my bed, and it comes in this little folding like pouch thing, so I can keep it kind of put up in a way to protect it when I'm not using it. But whenever I'm in the van, I need to protect it also because, well, it has like white on it. So like you can see the quilted white on it, that's going to get really dirty and dingy in the van. So I wanted to protect that. So that's where this part on my left comes in. Have you ever found something at a store and thought, oh my gosh, that's cool, and not necessarily known how it was going to work with what you were going to do at that time, but you knew you needed it? Well, this was kind of one of those things. There was a store called Dirt Cheap that was actually located not that far away from me. They've since closed, but they had these things called cart sales where you could buy a cart of items for like a very minimal price. It was like $10. And my family and I, we were out shopping and saw this cart and we were like, wow, there's some cool stuff in there, but we couldn't really tell exactly what was in there. And so we picked it up, and it's been kind of like a very interesting puzzle of figuring out what to do with the things inside. But it has netted some really great things, including a sink that is valued at well over a couple $100 that my dad now has installed in his van. It pays sometimes to take the extra stuff. Now, some of the stuff was chunkable. It wasn't anything any good. It had like weirdness to it, or it was donatable. And so we've done that kind of with many of the things. But there was this one thing that stuck out to me, and I was like, I need to keep this. I will use this at some point. I just don't know when. And because I do have a base camp, I just put it in storage and said, mark my thoughts. I will be back to this. I think this is the time. So as you can see, this is a textured duvet cover, and it's larger than my bed. But what I was thinking is this would give me something that would add some dimension, also the ability to take it off and clean it. And also it would give me some color in the van. Recycle, reuse. I always like to do that first. And so yes, I could order a cover for this, but most of the covers for mattresses are also white. And because I'm going to be using this as a couch, a chair, and a bed, I wanted it to not just be white. Now, many people use like a little blanket drape or something like that, and I could do that, and I thought about that, but ultimately I know that I am going to end up getting that white topper nasty. And even though I can take that white topper off, it's harder to take that white topper off than it is just to take off a protector. And so I am going to be using this as a protector and figuring out if I can make it work. Again, I think it's going to be a little bit big, but I'm going to play with the space a little bit. We'll see what happens, but now I have to see if I can even get it in there. I think I can. Many of you have asked why I watch my channel. It's because if I have something else on, it's copyright. So guess what? There's me pointing at stuff like I'm pointing at you guys. But we're gonna get this out of the bag first and start there. Okay, starting off by taking this out, and this just comes off like this. And then I can flip it, and there. Okay, that part's done. Now comes the hard part. I need to put this on here, and for this I'm actually going to have a little assistance from my mom just to make it a little bit easier because, well, like I said, I've been outside in the heat and I'm already pretty tired today. Okay, so the zipper end is here. So what we'll do is we'll just take, see, this is already getting stuff on it. That's why I was concerned. We'll take this end, which will be the bottom, and we'll just kind of file it in and then pick it up on this end and pull the topper up in theory. Okay, now we should be able to lay it down to make the last adjustments. Okay, again, I know this is going to be big, but we're going to do some tucking of this, and I'm going to zip it in, and then we'll be able to figure out how big it really is, or if I need to put it in a different spot. I'll probably scoot all the way over to one side with it. That way I can just tuck one side, and that'll be the side that's not going to be quite as pretty, but that's okay. This is all about having a protector that I can take off more than anything. Okay, so this is what we have. This is how much we have left. I can work with this. I'll figure it out, but this gives me a good starting place. I wanted to make sure I had something that was big enough to fold. A lot of the mattress protectors, also because they're for this size, don't necessarily fold. So this is kind of where I'm at right now. Is this perfect? No, it is not. It has a lot of work to be done, but this gives me an idea at least, which is what I needed. I looked at mattress protectors that were different colors, and the two things that I noticed were that one, again, they're not designed to have that flexibility to fold. A mattress protector specifically for a tri-fold mattress, more expensive. Also, usually in white. The black ones, very expensive. For a tri-fold mattress, the cheapest one I could find was $90, and I don't want black. I want a color because black is going to make the space look much smaller, but having a color is going to expand the space. So if I can figure this out, then this will be good. It's going to take some time though, so this is where I'm beginning my journey, and this video is going to be about figuring this out and also making it kind of integrate with my other things, because I still want to use my comforter, my pillows, and things like that. I don't want to have to replace all of those and get a new one, so I'm going to try to figure out how this can work, and I really like the color, so if I can make it work, that'll be awesome, and then I'll just, you know, figure it out again as I go. But right now, because I was outside and I'm boiling, I'm going to cool off for just a minute, and then I think my mom and I are going to run some errands, and I'll be thinking about this while we're gone. This is going to be how it sits in couch mode. So the back will sit up, and then I can lean it up against my back doors, and that's why I need it to be able to flex, so that I can do that, but then also pull it out. Again, there's a lot over here though, so Mom and I were just talking about maybe if we rotate the mattress where the zipper runs down the side, that would work, and if we do that, then maybe we could cut it and potentially sew it a little tighter in on the other side. So that might be a good option. I really like how this sits up though, because despite it being just a mattress with no additional structure or frame, it really does provide a good support, and I can lean pretty far back, but I can also like lean forward if I want to and not feel like I'm sinking, because that was my biggest fear with this mattress, was that if I leaned forward and wasn't like just in this mode, that I would start to feel it pull down in the front, and that doesn't happen. So I want to be able to use it as a bed, a couch, a chair, and also like an entertaining space potentially. I'm not traveling with any friends right now, but if later on I still have this in the van, and I do, this will be helpful. So yeah, I think that now we just have to figure out this. But if we can figure out the zipper side and keep the zipper intact and just cut the other side, I would be fine with that, because otherwise this isn't getting used for anything else. So this is its time to shine. Okay, I returned to the house, and I think I have a solution for this. First and foremost, we took the actual bed and we rotated it so that the side of the bed lines up with the zipper as opposed to the top. That allows me to see what it would look like and how much excess that I had. Picture this. This is a twin XL. This case, though, is like for a California king. So it's literally double in size. So at first we folded it just to kind of see what it looks like. And this is what it looks like when it's all folded up. And you can see right here, it's just kind of folded behind. So that gave us an idea of what it would look like if it were a little bit more tight. Not completely tight still, but more tight. Now, folding isn't something that's going to work for long term, because that'll just migrate out and then it'll be this huge, massive thing. So that wasn't something that was ever going to be the long-term solution, but it let me envision it to kind of figure out what would be the best solution for making it not like that. And either if I would just tack it or if I would cut it. And I think after talking to my mom and kind of going through various scenarios, that cutting it is going to be the best bet. So what I'm going to be doing tomorrow, not today because I'm already so tired from the day, I'm going to be pulling out the sewing machine, which kind of scares me because I don't use it very often and kind of out of practice. And I'm going to actually cut one long line, and that part's going to be very nerve-wracking for me, getting it even. And then I'm just going to take it and turn the whole thing inside out and then just sew it together and just keep sewing it together to give it a lot more strength. And then at that point, I will then be able to put it back onto the bed. Now, another thing though about that, because it's a California King and has a little bit of extra on the end. Now I could cut that off and sew it also, but I think I'm going to instead leave it. What I'm going to do instead of cutting that off is leave it. And there's two main reasons for this. One, the zipper. I do not want to affect the zipper side whatsoever. And by going in and cutting that side, it's going to get it a little bit close to that zipper and make me very uncomfortable. If I have an issue with that zipper side, this whole plan kind of just falls apart and was pointless. But also, this is going to allow me to have that little extra bit so that whenever I do move it out or into the upright position, there's enough flex in there that it can still bend. And I think that that's really important because I need it to be able to move and bend. It cannot be tight like a typical mattress cover, otherwise it will not bend. So tomorrow, sewing machine, this is going to be fun. So you can see here the green, the gray, and then also the turquoisey color. These are all the colors that I'll be using in the van itself. So I need to figure out how to kind of marry these together to make them look like they actually belong together, as opposed to a mismatch of craziness. I want to be able to use my bedding that I already had, and so I'm going to be making sure that I kind of figure out a way to kind of bring the green and then also the turquoise together. But all of my flooring, my accessories, and things like that are all gray because a neutral gray is always easier. And so I need to figure that out. So I'm probably going to go onto Amazon and look to see if, one, I can find a body pillow cover that will have those colors all kind of together to kind of merge them, or one accent pillow that can bring all this together. Now, I do need to be able to travel with my body pillow and two regular pillows, simply because that's how I sleep for my personal back, because I do have back issues, and this is kind of what keeps me more normal whenever I'm traveling. So I have less aches and pains. And so those are very important. I can add one pillow, but that one pillow is all I'm going to allow myself to do if I need to. And realistically, if I do add an accent pillow, I'll either buy an insert to put in it, or I'll just stuff it with like jackets and stuff like that, like I did in my other van. So I'm going to go on Amazon tonight, see what I can find. I really would like to find a body pillow cover for it. That would really bring it together in like a bigger way. And so I'm going to look up turquoise, gray, and green body pillow covers, and preferably something that's not like a crazy print, because I want something that's still going to be really nice, but not necessarily something that's going to be like, whoa. Okay, I think I found something that'll work. This abstract watercolor pattern looks great, and I think it's going to merge all the colors together. Oh, okay. I took a long time on Amazon last night looking for those things, and I went through a variety of different colors and patterns and textures, and ultimately concluded that that would be the best bet. I found a couple things. First and foremost, the pillow that's going to tie the colors together. Then I found the little piece of wall art that I could put on my back doors. I have some discoloring that happened on my back door, and so I wanted to be able to cover that. And originally I had thought, oh, I could do a tapestry or something, but through the logic that I had, I was looking at it from the perspective of, if I put a tapestry up on that wall, I'm going to have to like hang it somehow. I know Velcro does not do well in the heat, and so I did not want to use Velcro. Magnets are great. They're awesome in my van. The problem is if I'm hanging a tapestry and using various points with magnets, and then I'm leaning the bed up against the back door, go with me on this journey. I know myself well enough to know that I'm more likely to whack myself in the head with one of those magnets falling, and thus hurting myself. So I just decided instead of doing that, I would try something that's small and vinyl, just to cover up kind of the weird spot on the back door. I don't know why it discolored the way that it did, but it just looks a little weird. So I wanted to fix that. So between these two items, that should get me where everything kind of looks a little bit more cohesive. And I also ordered another body pillow cover just to match the darkness of the actual gray on my bedding, since the other one didn't. I will use that other one whenever I am here at my base camp though, because that is a really good color for my bedding that I have here. It just doesn't really work with the bedding that I had in the van. So with that said, I'm just waiting till Tuesday for those, and then I'll be able to put that part together. But I'm trying to psych myself up for this cutting of the actual cover. I'm just so nervous about this. Well, my package arrived from Amazon, so now it's time to get to work. I've already pulled out the sewing machine. I've kind of thought through this process. But first, I'm going to check out what these things look like to make sure they're actually going to match. Also, my throat is a little scratchy today, so thanks, weather. Thanks. Okay, this is going to cure everything, I hope. A little honey, a little tea, oh, and a little hope, because I have a lot of things to do to get ready before I hit the road, and the days are starting to dwindle now. So, I hope this helps. Okay, starting off here, Amazon has started shipping things in these little clear bags. Okay, this is the pillowcase for the body pillow. This is going to be like a velvety finish and definitely matches the bedding better because it's a darker gray. So this is good. Okay. Oh, okay. So this is the wall art that I was wanting to get for the van. And then this is the pillowcase that is supposed to tie everything together. So in theory, there's two of these just in case, because I couldn't get just one. Oh, nice. So from some of the reviews that I was reading on some of the others, they were saying it was just one-sided, but these are two-sided. So this makes it so worth it. It looks as though I have the green, like the turquoise colors in here, and then some of it fades into like this gray green. So this should work. Sure enough, the green is the right color. That makes me so happy. And then here it is next to the gray, and I think it'll pick up some of these darker tones and work really well with kind of like this gray green. And last but not least, this looks good. Okay, this is going to work so well. So I now have the pillows that can go with all of the other bedding that I already have. So now I have to make a judgment call on if I want to use one of these or two of these, and also if I want to fill them with actual pillows or if I want to put things in them. This will be a part of my packing if I put things in them. So I guess I should test out the zipper to see if the zipper feels like something I feel comfortable zipping and unzipping. And what I mean by this is I actually have had a couple throw pillows that the zipper has felt really kind of flimsy, and so I didn't want to put like storage items in it because opening and closing I'd end up like pulling the zipper off track. So if this is a good zipper, I will store things in it. If it is not a great zipper, I'll just put a pillow in it and it will be okay. Okay, the zipper seems to be a smaller zipper, but it's actually really nice. So it feels comfortable zipping and unzipping. It doesn't feel flimsy. I'm just going to do this a few times. This is how I test these, just to see if they come off track, if they do anything weird. Everything looks good. It's one of the things I've noticed getting cheaper pillowcases is sometimes those kind of things happen. This one seems to be inexpensive but good. The zipper quality seems to be put on there very well, and it doesn't look like they scrimped on that. So I think this is going to work out. I've lost a couple good pillows that I've kept on my bed though as a result of bad zippers. So I always check that out first. Okay, so I have two pillows, and again, I had some wool blankets. I'm trying to figure out the best way to put them in there. This one is a smaller wool blanket, so it's like for a twin. This one is for a queen, so it's a bit bigger. But whenever I fold them flat, the problem is whenever I fold them flat, they don't go out to the corners. So that's kind of what I'm experiencing with this one. This one, I didn't fold flat, and I just kind of pushed it into the corners so it would hold up a bit more. But it's not quite how I want it to be, so I just keep kind of mushing it in there to kind of get it to take the form that I want. But I think overall this one is better. But I know that this one isn't going to fill it up quite as much because, again, it's a smaller blanket. So in this one, I may also put like a lightweight jacket so that I have it if I need it. Or I may put my puffer jacket in here just when it's not all folded up and just kind of maneuver it into the corners, because otherwise this is going to drive me insane. Okay, I'm currently working on cutting the bedspread, and with the help of my mom, she was over here like helping on this side. And so what we did was we pulled it where it was halved, and then we pulled back just a little bit to give a little extra wiggle room. I would rather have this a tad bit big than too small. So now we're both just cutting up from the sides, and this is a huge piece of cloth, so it's gonna take us a minute to do this. Okay, so now we've got it cut, and there's a little weirdness here, so I'm not sure how that's gonna work out, but you know what? We're gonna figure it out. If worse comes to worse, we'll add a strip to it. This probably will still work. So we're gonna turn it inside out. We're gonna put it on the cushion and just make sure it actually fits. And then I'm going to pin it and then sew it. I don't know if this is gonna work or not, but we're about to find out. And this is the part that's been making me so nervous. This is why I've waited this far into the process for this. And this is the biggest point of the van. This is the focal point. I mean, if worse comes to worse, I'll make it look patchwork or something. I don't know. We'll figure that out. The positive is we gave ourselves plenty of flex room. And so I have a good amount that I can seam. So that's awesome. I'm just kind of pulling it tight, but getting this to where we can seam it, it's probably not going to be super tight. Like, I'm holding it super tight, but in all reality, there's going to be a bit more give to it. And that's okay. I'm fine with that. Okay, so now that we kind of figured it out, we figured that there's about 6 inches of play on both sides, 6.5. So we're going to turn it inside out, and then we're going to pin it, and then that's going to make it easier to sew. And then after I sew it, I can cut the excess, or I can keep the excess, I guess. Cutting again, that's what makes me nervous. So we'll pin it first, then, only then will I sew. Okay, so we went our 6.5 inches from the top, which I knew that this side was the one that I measured, so that was good. Then we measured from that spot to the end and got 44.25. And so then we went to several other spots measuring 44.25 because we have this little weirdness here. And now we're going to take this little soft measure and just kind of run it across and connect all the dots and see what it looks like. Okay, the pins are all on. Let's see how this turns out. Crossing my fingers, this is good. I expect it to still be a little bit large. Again, that's fine. As long as it's not as large as it is now. I can deal with a little bit, but it was literally double the size of what it needed to be. So anything, as long as it fits on, is an improvement. Okay, I did it. I don't know that it's good, but it is done. So now is, yeah, the stitching is not great, but it's there. I was very nervous the entire time. What, Mom?
The stitching looks nice. It's nice and strong.
It looks so scary. This is not my forte. I'm good at a lot of things. Sewing is not my thing. But if it works, I'll be happy, and we'll check this off of the list of things we did. Now, I did make my former pillow that I was using in the van, and it turned out really well. So I can, just don't enjoy doing it. So now we're going to turn it inside out and put the mattress back inside and see if all the work was worth it. Okay, so we put it inside, and now we're getting ready to zip it, and I think we did better than I thought we would. Okay, Mom's got the zipper.
You don't want to put too much
She's
stress
bringing
on
it in. Now, just for reference, this is the side that already was fixed because this one was the one that had the zipper. That is the side down there that we sewed up. And so it looks pretty good. Okay, it's done. This is so happy. It does have that little overhang, but it tucks right under the bottom. And this is wild to me. So this was the corner. And this is the other corner. Can you tell which one that we created and which one was already here? I'm so excited. It turned out so much better than I thought it would. Okay, so here's the real test. I look crazy today because I've been just working on all sorts of stuff, but I'm gonna sit on this, and if the mattress doesn't pop a seam or anything like that, then we did a good job. If it does pop a seam, this is the best time for it to pop. This is why I tell you guys to do everything at home before you get out on the road if you can. Oh, cross my fingers. Okay, we didn't have any tearing, popping, ripping. This is the zipper side, so it's still good. You can see here, this is our seam, and it folds into itself. It looks good. There's a little extra here which allows it to bend. If that wasn't there, then it wouldn't bend correctly. And then up here, kind of the same thing, but this is exactly what I had in mind right here. Okay, so couch mode achieved. This was a huge project. Now I'm just gonna put it in the van, and I'm gonna get Mom to help me take it out there real quick, just because it is kind of a weird bulky item. We'll get it set up into couch mode. I'll take out my pillows, and that is huge. Now I don't feel like it's gonna be flopping around doing all sorts of weird stuff like it was whenever it was so big. And I have some extra material, which means that I'm gonna try to incorporate that into another project somewhere else in the van, because that way I can have this color scheme kind of everywhere. So I'll show you that on an upcoming video, though. For now, Mom and I are gonna put on outside shoes and take this out there and see what happens. Okay, here it is. This is in couch mode, and this is perfect. Now I have both of these pillows filled with the blankets, so I have a cooling blanket, I have 2 additional wool blankets, and I'm gonna put my body pillow kind of across here. So this will be so perfect. And then on this side over here, I'll be able to put my regular blankets, which I have a storage solution for as well. We'll see how that works out. And then you might be thinking, where are my regular pillows going to go? Well, when I'm not in bed mode and I'm in couch mode, they'll actually slide in behind the couch, and that'll work out really well because there's a little pocket kind of under here at the very back, and so that'll give it a little bit more structure. And then also it'll give me a good place to store them so they're not just in the space. I'm so excited how this turned out. It looks so nice in here, and again, it opens up the space quite a bit. Now I am gonna have to kind of adjust it as I go, figure out exactly how bed mode's gonna work with the shelf, but all in all, this is a huge check off of the list toward getting back on the road. And I'm so excited. The colors really came together. I have some other solutions that I'll be showing you on some upcoming videos, just kind of as I'm working in the space, so be looking for those. But remember, guys, we're not here for a long time, but we are here for a good time, and the good time is looking a little bit closer right now. So this is about to be really fun. Till next time, guys. Bye.